ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome all of you all for our Srimad Bhagavatam overview series. So last week we saw chapter 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Last week we saw chapter 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Chapter 1 was called Questions by the Sages. How many of you all went home and went through the chapter, at least tried going through the chapter? How many of you all did this? Can you all raise your hands? Good. I'm very happy for you all. Lord Krishna will be very happy. Shukdev Goswami will be very happy. So my humble request to all of you all, after we discuss this every week when we discuss a particular chapter, please go home and try to do it. If you don't do it, I'll tell you what will happen. After a couple of chapters, you will feel that it is too overwhelming and you will never do it. You understanding? So just like in school, better to do homework then and there. Otherwise it gets carry forward and becomes very difficult. So please just try, right? At least go through the translations, at least try to get in touch with the book. If you can do it, it will be very nice. So after today's session, today hopefully we will complete chapter 2. So please try to go home and just try to go through these chapters. I'm sure that most of you all have Srimad Bhagavatam with you all. How many of you all are carrying your first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam here? Can you please raise your hands? Good, I'm very happy. For those who don't have, please try to get the book also. If you all have the Bhagavatam copy, please make it a point to bring the Bhagavatam book here. Okay? So today we are getting to chapter 2, which is called Divinity and Divine Service, a very, very important chapter. So before we get into chapter 2, a quick review, a recap of chapter 1. So in chapter 1, being the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, we saw that the first 3 verses are the invocation or the prelude for this particular chapter. Very important 3 verses. Then we saw verse number 4 to 8 is the setting of this scene. The sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunakadi Rishi, they meet in this place called Naimisharanya and they are doing a 1,000-year tapasya so that the benefit can go for all the future generations. And the chapter concludes with 6 questions that the sages ask. The first question is, what is the absolute and ultimate good for people in general? Second is, what is the essence of all scriptures? सब शास्त्रों का निचोड़ क्या है? Third, why did Lord Krishna appear in this world through Devaki and Vasudeva? Fourth question, they wanted to understand Krishna's various Purusha avatars. Fifth question, they want to know various Leela avatars of Lord Krishna. And the sixth question, and a very important question. After Lord Krishna departed from this world, where did Dharma take shelter of? So that's basically, in essence, the subject matter of chapter 1. So now we'll begin chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called Divinity and Divine Service. So basically, the way this chapter is divided, I'll give you all a quick overview of this chapter and then we'll get into the verses. The first 7 shlokas, because the first chapter, Shaunakadi Rishi have asked questions to Sutta Goswami. The first 7 shlokas, Sutta Goswami begins his answer. How does he begin his answer? The first 4 verses he is offering obeisances to his guru, his spiritual masters. So this is the mood of a sincere preacher or someone who is like a sincere devotee. When he is asked a question or when it is time for him to begin some discussion on Krishna, he first seeks blessings from the previous acharyas. Just like before the class, we chant this Mangalacharan. What is Mangalacharan? Basically, Mangalacharan means it is invoking auspiciousness. And the way we do it is we offer obeisances to all the previous acharyas. Because without the mercy of a guru, one cannot understand scripture. Just like Bhagavad Gita was narrated, the whole Gita was being narrated by Sanjay to Dhritarashtra. But Sanjay could get this blessing of hearing the Bhagavad Gita because of the mercy of his guru, Vyasdev. So similarly, Sutta Goswami offers obeisances. Then he is glorifying the sages. We saw in chapter 1 that the sages glorify Sutta Goswami, but here we will see that even Sutta Goswami is glorifying the sages because it is mutual, right? One who is hearing gets benefit. How does he get benefit? Because he is hearing Krishna Katha. But one who is speaking is also getting benefit because he is able to speak Krishna Katha. So if the hearers don't ask question, if they are not eager, the speaker will not get a chance to speak on Krishna. So both get benefited and both are grateful to each other. So in the process of spirituality, this mood of humility is very, very important. The one who is hearing is also very humble and one who is speaking also is very humble because he is getting an opportunity to speak. And 6 to 7, 2 verses, Sutta Goswami answers the first 2 questions of the 6 questions. Verse number 8 to 15, we'll be getting into these verses. I'm just giving you a quick overview in the beginning. Verse number 8 to 15, basically, Sutta Goswami describes how bhakti is the only thing to be gained through one's prescribed duties. All of us have different duties in life. Swadharma, right? For Arjuna, he was a Kshatriya. Everyone has various duties in life. And it is very important that we do all these duties. But along with doing all these duties, it is very crucial that we keep Krishna Bhakti in the focus. So these set of verses 8 to 15, very beautiful verses. Sutta Goswami explains the principle of how one should live in this world while remembering Krishna. Just like Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha, think of me and fight. So this is a very beautiful section, 8 to 15. The third section, 16 to 22, is another very beautiful section, how bhakti progresses. 8 to 15, Sutta Goswami stresses the aspect of bhakti. 16 to 20, he explains the various stages of bhakti. How one gradually grows from one stage to another. What are the various stages? Spirituality, Krishna consciousness is a science. Just like if someone has to produce a particular chemical, there is a set science. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, you follow it, the result will come. So similarly, bhakti is also a science. Or it is like a journey. Like if you are going from one place to another, you follow a certain journey and there are different milestones for you to know whether you are on the right path or not. So in the path of bhakti, these set of verses 16 to 22, Sutta Goswami gives the various steps of bhakti, the various levels of bhakti, where is systematically explained and what is the conclusion of all processes, the conclusion and the aim of bhakti. 23 to 29, Sutta Goswami explains this concept of guna avatars. We all know guna avatars. There are 3 guna avatars, Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu. So he explains that of all the guna avatars, Lord Vishnu is considered to be the supreme. And then he concludes that A sincere devotee of Krishna understands that the essence of all processes is Vasudev, ya Krishna. And such a person, he rejects demigod worship, he offers his respects to demigods, but he focuses worship on Krishna or Lord Vishnu. And then in conclusion, 30 to 33, he is answering the fourth question that the sages asked. The fourth question was, they wanted to hear more about the Purusha avatars. So here he explains the various Purusha avatars, the three types of Vishnu. We will discuss that. And finally, the last verse 34, he is answering part of the third question. Why does Lord Krishna appear in this world? To reclaim the fallen conditioned souls. So this is the summary of chapter 2, 34 verses. Having said that, we will actually begin. Each of the verses is so beautiful. More than the verse, the purport of Srila Prabhupada is so beautiful. We don't have time to get into each of the lines and each of the words of Srila Prabhupada. But as I told you in the beginning, we would highly recommend all of you all to go back home and try to dive deeper into the purports of Srila Prabhupada. So 1 to 5, Sutta Goswami begins his reply first by offering obeisances. Text 1. Vyasa uvacha iti samprashna samrishto vipranam roma harshani pratipujya vachastesham pravaktam upachakrame. So Sutta Goswami, the son of Romaharshan Suta, became very happy hearing these questions, and he thanked all of them and he begins to reply. How does he reply? He first, as I told you, he is offering obeisances to his guru. Who was the guru of Sutta Goswami? Shukdev Goswami. So when Shukdev Goswami was describing Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, there were many sages who were sitting there, and one of them was Sutta Goswami. So we were discussing this point last time also. Now Sutta Goswami is speaking. He is becoming a preacher. He is speaking Krishna Katha. But how does he get his qualification to speak? Because he first was a student who heard very, very sincerely. So it's very important that we hear sincerely from the great souls. So these classes, if you all come and hear sincerely, read attentively, all of you all can actually become preachers. Just repeat what you have heard, what you have read. So Sutta Goswami offers obeisances to Shukdev Goswami. And he explained that Shukdev Goswami was so great that when he was born, as soon as he was born, he didn't even stay in the house. Did I tell you the story of Shukdev Goswami? I told you all, right? Shukdev Goswami was actually Radharani's parrot. He entered into the womb of Vyasadev's wife Satyavati. And he was there in that womb for 16 years. Have you all seen any child who's been in the womb for 16 years? No. Today's age, even if 9 months, little more than 9 months, mothers get very panicking. What is wrong? Right? 16 years the child is in the womb and it is not coming out only. Because Shukdev Goswami was thinking, this world is a place of illusion. Better I remain in the womb. As soon as I come out, Maya will overtake me. He didn't want to come out only. That was his level. Vyasadev, he goes to Lord Krishna. Because Lord Krishna was there at that point in Dwarka. He tells Lord Krishna, you please come and tell the child to come out. So Lord Krishna comes and tells Shukdev Goswami, you come out, I assure you Maya will not touch you. With that assurance he comes out. And as soon as he comes out, he just walks away from his house. Not one moment he stays there. So in this way, Sutta Goswami is explaining, when Shukdev Goswami is going to the forest, the father Vyasadev is running after Shukdev Goswami and telling him, please come back, please come back. Only the echo comes back, but Shukdev Goswami doesn't come back. So such a renounced person, completely renounced. So in this way, he is glorifying Shukdev Goswami. We will read text 3, which is a very important verse. Yaha swanubhavam akila shruti saramekam. You all can try whatever. Sometimes, you will have chanted number of times so that we understand these verses. Yaha swanubhavam akila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepam atitirishyatam tamo andam Samsarinam karunaya purana guhyam tam vyasa sunum upayami gurum munina. So here he is offering obeisances to his guru Shukdev Goswami. And who is Shukdev Goswami? He is saying here, Yah Swanubhavam Akila Shruti Saram Ekam. This Shukdev Goswami, he has Akila Shruti Saram. He has understood the essence of all the Vedas. So why is Shukdev Goswami qualified to speak, or why we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam? First is Akila Shruti Saram. Shruti refers to Vedas. Akila refers to all the Vedic scriptures. Shukdev Goswami understood the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. Not only that, Swanubhavan, he also realized it. He realized this knowledge. And then Adhyatma Deepa. And then out of great mercy, Karunaya, to remove ignorance, Tamo Andam, he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is Srimad Bhagavatam? Akila Shruti Saram. It is the essence of all Vedic scriptures. And by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, what happens? Adhyatma Deepa, spiritual knowledge is lit in our heart, and all ignorance, Tamo Andam, is removed. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is called Purana Guhyam. It is the most secret of all scriptures. Amala Puran, the topmost Puran. So therefore, he is offering obeisances to Shukdev Goswami. Tam Vyasa Sunam Upayami. Shukdev Goswami is the son of Vyasadev. So in this way, Sutta Goswami is inspiring all of us that this is the mood of an ideal preacher. Whenever he is about to speak or write anything, first he offers obeisances to his Guru. So this is the mood of every sincere devotee. And then in text 4, he is not only offering obeisances to his immediate Guru, Shukdev Goswami, but he is offering obeisances to Nar Narayan Rishi, Saraswati Devi, Vyasadev. Because it is only through all these personalities that we have the Vedic scriptures. Text 4 is a very important verse. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye. So he's saying here, before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God at Narayan, unto Nar Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, Mother Saraswati and Shila Vyasadev. So here it says, Tato Jayam Udirayet. Tato Jayam Udirayet means by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, what will happen? One will conquer, one will become the supreme most powerful person. One will become completely conquering all the anarthas. That is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is offering obeisances to Narayan, Nar Narayan Rishi, Saraswati Devi and Vyasadev. And in this way, he begins Bhagavatam. So this is the way in which any scripture actually begins. First by offering obeisances to the previous acharyas. Now, he is not only offered obeisances to his guru and the previous acharyas, now he is congratulating all the sages for asking these wonderful questions. Text 5 is another very important verse. Munaya sadhu prishtoham bhavadbir loka mangalam yena krita krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. So he says, Munaya sadhu prishtoham. All of you all have asked very good questions. And these questions, what will happen? Bhavadbir loka mangalam. The answers that are going to come from these questions, it is going to bring loka mangalam. It is going to bring benefit to everyone. So when discussion on Krishna happens, that benefit is not only got by the one who's asking questions, one who's speaking, but that benefit is got by everyone. Bhagavad Gita is also in the form of a question and answer. Srimad Bhagavatam is also in the form of a question and answer. And these two books, which are both question and answers, have benefited humanity for a very, very long time. So therefore, Sutta Goswami is congratulating these sages for asking the right question. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, this world is full of question and answers. Agni? Everyone in this world is asking questions and everyone is seeking answers. So Prabhupada says, a student goes to school. What is there in school? It's all question and answers. Right? The teacher will give you a question and she will give you an answer. You have to by heart the answers. And then there's an exam where there's question and answers. A lawyer goes to court. What is there in the court? Question and answers. Right? You have to answer certain questions. Someone, a politician, he has to answer questions. A press guy, everyone has to answer question and answers. But Srila Prabhupada explains there are so many question and answers. You open the net, you open newspaper, media, there are so many debates. People love debates, question and answers. But Prabhupada explains here, none of these question and answers have satisfied people's heart. Why? Because these questions are not related to Krishna. So here Sutta Goswami says, Yat Krita Krishna Samprashno. Your questions are different than the questions that people ask. Because your questions are related to Krishna. The other questions and answers in this world are related to relative truth. Right? But this question and answers is related to the eternal truth. We were giving this example, I think last week or last week. You may have a newspaper. Newspaper, there are question and answers, right? Yesterday's newspaper, will someone read it today? No one will read it. Last week's newspaper, you can just use it for wrapping some sabji or something. That's all. That's the end of it. But this question and answer, which was asked 5,000 years ago, they're still reading it because this is related to the absolute truth, not changing truth. This is a truth that will never change. And what is that truth? Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then Sutta Goswami concludes, Yenatma Suprasidati. Suprasidati means happy. Atma means such a person becomes very, very happy when you participate in a discussion about Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada explains here, everyone in this world is looking for satisfaction, but none of the question and answers in this world can give you satisfaction. By reading Srimad Bhagavatam very attentively, by reading and hearing, one can actually experience this bliss. So in this way, Sutta Goswami is offering obeisances to his previous acharyas and then thanking these sages for asking these questions. Text 6 and 7, Sutta Goswami answers the first two questions. What are the first two questions? What are the first two questions? What is question number 1?
What is the ultimate absolute good for
Yes, what is the ultimate absolute good for people in general? What is question number 2? What is the essence of all scriptures? Now in 6 and 7, Sutta Goswami is answering these first two very important questions. What is the ultimate good and what is the essence of all scriptures? See, till here he has just been offering obeisances to his guru. As soon as he is answering, straight he is answering the questions. Two shlokas, two questions answered. Very important questions answered only in 2 verses. So in our Vedic scriptures, there is no beating around the bush. Straight question, straight answer. Srila Prabhupada has a book called Perfect Question, Perfect Answers. People don't even know to ask questions. So when you ask the perfect question, you will actually get the perfect answer. So this is answer to question number 1 and 2, the ultimate good and the essence of all scriptures. Please repeat this shloka after me, a very important shloka. Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So here he says, Savai pumsam paro dharmo. Pumsa refers to mankind. So what was the question? What is the ultimate highest good for people in general? So here he is saying, Savai pumsa paro dharmo. What is the highest religion Yato bhaktir adokshaje. Bhakti to Krishna. One of the name of Krishna is Adokshaja. What does Adokshaja mean? What does Adokshaja mean? Anyone knows meaning of Adokshaja? Huh? No? Translate. Akshajam. Aksha means eyes. Adokshaja means one who is beyond your senses. Krishna is beyond our material senses. So, savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje. So, very clear. What was the question? What is the ultimate good for people in general? So, what is Sutta Goswami's answer? The ultimate good is bhakti to Krishna. Very clear. No beating around the bush. And what kind of bhakti? Ahetuki apratiyata. Ahetuki means without hetu, without motive. Apratiyata means without interruption, without break. So what is the highest dharma? Bhakti to Krishna without motivation, without interruption. Continuous bhakti, not once a while bhakti. Continuous bhakti and without any condition. And what will happen if you practice such kind of bhakti? Yayatma suprasidati. Your heart will become very, very happy. Your soul will experience great bliss when you practice such kind of bhakti. Understood this? So this is the highest good and the essence of all scriptures. We will read the next shloka. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahetukam. So here in continuation he says Vasudeve Bhagavati. Again, answer is very clear. Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. One has to follow the process of bhakti. And bhakti to whom? Vasudeve Bhagavati. Bhakti to Vasudeva. So if you practice bhakti to Vasudeva, this pure unalloyed devotional service, right, without any mixture, what will happen? Ashu means very soon. Janayati, very soon. What is born in our heart? Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahetukam. Renunciation and knowledge both come automatically when one performs bhakti to Krishna. You don't have to endeavor separately. Just do pure devotional service, knowledge will also come, and automatically renunciation also will come. Right? Because if one experiences bliss in the process of Krishna consciousness, renunciation is very, very natural. One naturally gives it up. Right? So one will immediately experience renunciation and knowledge. You don't have to practice it separately. So what this shloka in essence means is, if you practice bhakti, karma, jnana, yoga, vairagya will come automatically. Because it is all included. Just like you have a 1,000 rupee note or 2,000 rupee note, all other denominations are included. Similarly, if you perform bhakti, all other things are automatically included. You don't have to separately practice it. So in these two verses, Sutta Goswami answers the first two questions, the ultimate good and the essence of all scriptures. So what it is? Ultimate good and essence is bhakti to Krishna, unmotivated, uninterrupted. So now someone may say, but I also have my prescribed duties to do, right? We just can't renounce everything and go to the forest and do bhakti, or go to Vrindavan and do bhakti. We all have our duties to do. So how do we balance these duties along with Krishna consciousness? Should we just give up duties? Or if we have to perform duties, how do we do it? With what mindset should we do it? So this is the next section, 8 to 15, another beautiful section which explains that only bhakti is to be gained by one's prescribed duties. While we perform all our prescribed duties, we are supposed to do that. But we have to understand the essence of that also, the perfection of all this is also to perform bhakti to Krishna. Text 8. Dharma swanustita pumsa vikshvaksheno katasuya notpadayade yadhiratim shrama evahi kevalam. So it says here, Dharma swanustita pumsam vikshvakshenu katasuya. Another name of Krishna is Vikshvakshena. So here it says, if you are performing bhakti, if you are performing a devotional or occupational duties or regular activities, right? But if you are not developing attraction for hearing about Krishna, Shrama evahi kevalam. It is a simply waste of time. Just like you have, when you remove grains, when you harvest the rice, you get husk, right? Oh, chilka rehta hai, husk. You beat that husk and then grains come out, rice comes out. But once that grain comes out, उसके बाद आप कितना भी मारो उसको कुछ होने वाला है क्या? Nothing is going to come because the essence is gone out. So similarly, after that it's just a waste of time. You're just wasting your time doing that. So similarly, if someone is not practicing bhakti, and what does bhakti mean? Notpada yadi ratim. If you're not developing attraction to hear about Krishna, then the whole thing is simply a waste. Srila Prabhupada would give this story. We generally tell the story, for people who are new. One time, there was one guy from a village. He went to America and became very, very educated. He got a PhD degree. After many years, he returned back to his village. And in order to go to that village, he had to cross a river. So he sat on that boat and he was discussing with the boatman. Now, if you have got some big degree in America and you have come back, you also want to show it off, right? I would have come to the village after many years. So he started to have a discussion with this boatman. He asked this boatman, do you know America? Have you ever heard of America? This boatman said, I really don't know anything beyond this village. So this fellow said, your 25% life is waste. And the boatman is rowing, very humble. So generally when you are like highly educated, there's some amount of pride also that comes. So this boatman was very humble. He said, I don't know anything. So this guy said, your 25% life is waste. And he's rowing the boat. And then he's asking this person, do you know something about astronomy? About the various stars and other things. He said, I don't know. He said, your 50% life is waste. And he's continuing to row. And then he's asking this fellow, do you know anything about technology? 5G, 4G and all these things. He said, I don't know anything. So your 75% life is waste. And in this way, and the boatman is quiet, he's not answering. He's waiting for his time. And suddenly it starts to rain, pour very heavily, storm, thunder, and the whole boat is shaking, about to drown. And this boatman is asking this fellow, do you know how to swim? He says, I don't know. So boatman says, your 100% life is waste. You're going to drown and die. So Prabhupada would tell this simple story to explain that we may do all other things perfectly in life. But if you are not able to practice bhakti to Krishna, if you are not able to remember Krishna at the final moment of life, then everything you have done is simply a waste. It's simply a waste if you don't know how to swim across this ocean of birth and death. So therefore, here it is said that Varnashram Dharma, just to be a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra and all these things is not the perfection. That is not Paro Dharma. What is the Paro Dharma? That is Bhakti to Krishna. That is the highest thing. So we have to do our duties keeping that highest thing in mind. Text 9, another very important verse. Dharmasya hi apavargasya narto artaya kalpate nartasya dharmai kantasya kamo labhaya hi smrita. So here he says, occupational duties, Varnashram Dharma is meant for what? Dharmasya hi apavargasya. Apavargasya means liberation. All occupational duties are certainly meant for one to take us to liberation. So the purpose of doing our various duties, someone is a housewife, someone is someone is business, someone is in a, whatever role we have to play in this world. While doing all these duties, the purpose of these duties is to reach a point where we can actually get liberated. That should be our focus. Like someone enters into school or college. Why does he enter? He studies, passes his exam, and he has to get out of that school and college. If someone says, my aim in life is to permanently settle in the school and college, that's not the purpose. The purpose of school and college is you have to get out. Learn your exams, pass your exams, study well, and then move out. You have to pass out. If you remain stuck, that means you have lost the purpose of that school or college. So similarly, we have to get liberated. So liberation in Sanskrit is called Apavarga. Srila Prabhupada explains what is Apavarga. So there is Pavarga and Apavarga. This material world is called Pavarga. We all have learned Pavarga, na? Pa, Fa, Ba, Ba, Ma. So what is material life? Pavarga. Pa, Fa, Ba, Ba, Ma. So if you want to understand what is material life, what is spiritual life, understand this. Pa, Fa, Ba, Ba, Ma. Pa refers to Parishram. These 5 things is what material life is. Parishram. Work very hard. You work so hard that there is fur. Fur refers to fain. Foam in the mouth. Like donkeys, they work so hard, there's foam in the mouth. So you work very hard, and then there is fain. You literally foam to your mouth. And then the whole thing is bha. Bha is birth, waste. Even if you get a great empire, at the time of death you have to leave everything and go. So why are you working so hard for? किसके लिए आप इतना मेहनत कर रहे हो? Ultimately छोड़ के ही जाना है. So it's all a waste, birth. Not only that, bha refers to bhai, fear. The more you have, the more you have to fear. Imagine you are traveling in a local train, and you have 20 kilos gold with you. In the night, will you get sleep? You will not get sleep. If you don't have anything in your pocket, you will go to sleep peacefully. So the more, first is to get that 20 kilo gold is hard work. After you get it also, there is so much fear that someone will take it away. Bhaya. And then ma. Ma refers to mrityu. Everything gone. So this is material world. Pa, fa, bha, ba, ma. And what is spiritual life? To negate these things. Therefore it is called apavarga. To get rid of this cycle of birth and death. So here it says, dharmasya hi apavargasya narto artaya kalpate. Right? Gain, material gain, narto artaya kalpate, should never be used for sense gratification. Nartasya dharmaikantasya kamo labhoihi smrita. So it says, one should never perform your occupational duties for material gain. Our occupational duty should be performed for liberation. Because ultimately, even if we get this material gains in this world, we'll have to leave it and go. So that's what this verse says. Text 10. Kamasya hi nendriya priti labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jigyasa narto yascheha karma bhi. So, kamasya nendriya priti. So kama refers to desires. We all have desires. But here it says how one should channelize one's desires. Kamasya nendriya priti. Indriya priti means sense gratification. So Sutta Goswami says one should never use desires for sense gratification. Labho jiveta yavata. Labho jiveta yavata means whatever comes naturally, accept that. So this is Bhagavatam philosophy. Just like suffering in this world, do we work to get suffering? Miseries come on its own. So similarly, Bhagavatam says material pleasures also will come on its own. You don't have to work too hard for it. Labho jiveta yavata. So that means be satisfied materially. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. So life is not meant for sense gratification. What is life meant for? Jivasya tattva jigyasa. Life is meant for doing inquiry about the absolute. To inquire about that paratattva, that is the purpose of life. Narto yashteha karmabhi. It is not meant for sense gratification. Understood this point? So it says here, life's desires, how one should live life, focusing on that absolute truth. One should inquire about the absolute truth. And in material life, work. We have to work. But then whatever comes on its own, be a little satisfied. You see, if you are not satisfied materially, if you keep working hard materially, where will be the time to read? Where will we read Srimad Bhagavatam and all these scriptures? Right? If you're like working 20 hours a day, 16 hours a day, when can you chant Hare Krishna? When will you read all this? So you have to let go of something. Try to live a simple life and focus more on that absolute truth. Getting the point here? So basically till here, Sutta Goswami is saying all our occupational duties we have to do it, but we have to focus on bhakti to Krishna. That's what the essence is. Now someone may say, who is this absolute truth? So here it says Jivasya Tattva Jigyasa. One should inquire about that absolute truth. So what is that absolute truth? It is explained in the next verse. Another very important verse. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnayam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. Vadanti tat tattvavidas. Those who are very, very learned, they have explained that that absolute truth is described in three ways. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti shabdate. So three names, three words are given to that absolute truth. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. We describe this in our Journey of Self-Discovery course. Brahman means the effulgence of Krishna, the light or that Brahma Jyoti. Paramatma is the Lord in everyone's heart, in every atom. The all-pervading aspect, the super soul is called Paramatma. And Bhagavan is that personality of Godhead. So all three features are there in God. But as we already discussed, of all the three, that personality feature is considered to be the highest. So that's the understanding of the absolute truth. You all are with me till here? Last week when I did the whole chapter, I got a feedback that Prabhuji, I think you're going a little quick, going a little fast. I don't know whether I'm going fast or slow, but at any point you all have any questions, any clarifications, please feel free to ask.
Just repeat this.
Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti shabdate. That absolute truth, Tattva, Paratattva, is called in three names. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Someone will call him Brahman, someone will call him Paramatma, someone will call him Bhagavan. Generally, the Jnanis, their aim is to merge into Brahman. Their aim is to become one with Brahman. Brahman mein leen hona. The yogis, they want to see that super soul within through meditation, through samadhi. And the devotees, they want to see Krishna in that Bhagavan feature. Okay? Can we continue ahead? Okay. Text 12. Tachraddhana munayo jnana vairagya yuktaya pashyanti atmani chatmanam bhaktya shrutya grihitaya. So the translation says, the seriously inquisitive student, Tachraddhana munayo. So if someone is serious in understanding God, what he will do? Bhaktya Shrutya Grihitaya. He will hear about Krishna. So therefore, again, the whole thing boils down to the process of hearing. Bhaktya Shrutya Grihitaya. So the essence we already described, the essence of all processes is the process of bhakti. And what does bhakti mean? To hear about Krishna. And how one should hear or how one should practice bhakti? Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya. Along with Gyan, knowledge and renunciation. So if someone does this, then he will understand that absolute truth through the process of bhakti and through the process of hearing. So now in text 13, basically Sutta Goswami is concluding this section. The section of Varnashram. Varnashram means we all have a prescribed duties to do. Right? Someone is a Brahmana, someone is a Kshatriya, someone is a housewife. So what is the purpose of Varnashram? How can you say that this person is a perfect Brahman, a perfect Kshatriya, or perfect Brahmachari, perfect Grahastha? What is the purpose of Varnashram? Very important verse. Ata pumbir dvija shreshta varnashrama vibhagasha swanutasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Repeat it again. अत पुंबिर्द्विज श्रेष्ठा वर्णाश्रम विभागश स्वनुस्थितस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिर्हरितोषणम्. So here he says, what is the success of varnashram or the purpose of varnashram? Samsiddhir haritoshanam. Varnashram has many divisions, right? 4 divisions, 4 varnas, 4 ashram. But what is the purpose of all this? Samsiddhir haritoshanam, to satisfy Krishna. What does it mean? If you say that I am a Brahmana, I've studied all the Vedas. But if your Brahmanical nature, through your Brahmanical duties, if Krishna is not happy, then it is a waste. You are not a perfect Brahmana at all. Someone may say, I am a Kshatriya. Just being a Kshatriya is not enough. Is your Kshatriya duties pleasing Krishna? If not, it is simply a waste. There are people in this world who say that Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Bhagavad Gita, what is Krishna teaching in Bhagavad Gita? Work is worship. That's not the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. What kind of work is worship? When that work is done, keeping Krishna in the center, then that work is worship. Otherwise, it is called Asurik Varnashram. There is Daiva Varnashram and then there is Asurik Varnashram. People who are so-called Brahmana, so-called Kshatriyas, but they have forgotten that essence. So basically the essence of what we do is to please Krishna. You have the example of Ravan. Ravan also was a Brahmana. Right? He also knew how to chant Vedic mantras. But he was considered a demon. Because through his Brahmanical qualities, he didn't please Krishna. But you have the example of Vidura, who was a Shudra. But because he had devotion to Krishna, he is considered to be a great Vaishnava. So what is important is, are you pleasing Krishna? Is Krishna happy with what we are doing? If that is so, then the purpose of Varnashram is achieved. So therefore, Tasmad, text 14, what is the conclusion? So this section, 14 to, this section was what? 8 to 15. So the conclusion is here. So Sutta Goswami is basically saying how through all our prescribed duties, one has to do bhakti to Krishna, please Krishna, samavati other. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion kya hai? Tasmadekena manasa Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati Shrottavya Kirtitavyascha Deya Pujyascha Nityada. Very beautiful verse. So what we are supposed to do? Prabhuji, all these verses I didn't understand. Tell me the conclusion. अब बताना क्या करना चाहिए? Tasmad, therefore, Tasmad ekena manasa. One should do bhakti to Krishna with one pointed focus. Just like Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. You don't have to focus on different things. One focus is enough. जैसे वो घोड़े को ऐसा पट्टी लगाता है ना, तो वैसे इधर उधर देखने की जरूरत नहीं. बस तस्माद एकेन मनसा भगवान सात्वताम पति. One has to focus on Bhagavan, not on Brahman, not on Paramatma. Focus on Bhagavan. And who is Bhagavan? Sattvatam Pati. Sattvata refers to the devotees. Sattvata Pati is Bhagavan Krishna, who is the protector of devotees. So this is what we should do. What we should do? One pointed attention, focus on bhakti to Krishna. And someone may say, what is bhakti? Shrottavya Kirtitavyascha Deya Pujyascha Nityada. What is bhakti? Very simple. 4 things. Shrottavya, hear about Krishna. Kirtitavya, glorify Krishna. Deya, remember Krishna, meditate on Krishna. Pujyaya, worship Krishna. Bas. Nityada. Nityada means always. Simple. What is bhakti? Hear about Krishna, glorify Krishna, remember Krishna, worship Krishna, always. That is the conclusion. है कि नहीं? भागवतम के एंड भी पहुंचने की जरूरत नहीं, पहले ही बता दिया सुधा गोस्वामी ने. कितने सारे लोग, we don't know how many people will reach the end. In the beginning only Sutta Goswami has explained what is supposed to be explained in the end. One pointed focus on bhakti to Krishna by hearing, glorifying, remembering and worshipping him. And if you do this, what will happen? Yad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chindanti kovidastasya kona kuryat kataratim. By remembering Krishna, what will happen? Yad anudhyasina yukta. Anudhyasina yukta is anyone who is remembering Krishna, following the process of bhakti, what will happen? Karma granthi dibandhanam chidyanti kovidastasya. Or the knots of karma in our heart, we have done millions of karma, so millions of reactions are there in our heart. We have to suffer, enjoy. But what will happen? Hearing about Krishna, the process of bhakti is like a knife that will cut all our karmic reactions. The process of bhakti is so strong, we may have done unlimited papa, but by performing bhakti, everything will get cut. So therefore it says, Kona kuryat kataratim. Which intelligent person will not pay attention to Krishna Katha? By hearing about Krishna Katha, what we will gain? All our karmic reactions will be destroyed. Chindanti kovidastasya. Kovida means intelligent people. So if we are intelligent, we will accept the process of bhakti and hear about Krishna. So that's basically the conclusion, that through all our varnashram duties, we have to perform whatever we are doing, but keeping Krishna bhakti, hearing about Krishna in the center. Anyone has any questions, any comments till here before I go ahead? Did you all understand? What you all understood? Tasma dekena manasa. Just perform bhakti, one pointed bhakti. Anyone has any questions, any comments? Can I? Yes.
अभी आपने कहा है कि why to do the material and now supposing maybe job, you want to have a promotion, you have to work, struggle towards it, you should not do that.
Do it. Yes. So Mata is asking whether we should. प्रभु जी आपने इतना बताया, प्रमोशन के लिए काम करूं कि नहीं? Yes, work for promotion, but simultaneously do your bhakti also nicely. It shouldn't be that promotion हो गया, माला कम हो गया. That means the promotion is not good. If that promotion, along with the promotion, if you are able to do your mala, if you are able to chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavatam, then it's okay. But if the promotion is coming at a cost where पैसा ज़्यादा मिल रहा है, you're getting a good pay, but you're not getting time only to perform bhakti, hearing, chanting के लिए बिल्कुल time नहीं है, so then that's the time you'll have to take a call whether I need this promotion or not. So if it's you're able to manage your bhakti, then it's fine.
For necessities.
Yeah, so for grahas, that's what I'm saying. For grahastas, everyone needs to work, earn money. There's no harm in doing that, but keeping this bhakti in the focus as a priority for all of us. Can we go ahead? Yes.
Text 14 refers to pure devotional service.
Yeah. Yes. All these verses are referring to pure devotion. Yeah. Tasma dekena manasa. Yes.
In the translation, why multiple places are the sages being referred as twice born?
Twice born. So her question is, why is the brahmanas called, or the sages when Sutta Goswami is addressing, why they are called twice born? So twice born means what? One birth though is a physical birth. And the other birth is that at the time of Diksha when you meet our Guru. So generally, a Brahmana is considered to be twice born because he gets his birth also, a material birth, and then he gets a spiritual birth also. So for all of us, material birth is important, but more than that, the spiritual birth is important. Therefore, they are called twice born. Dvija. Okay?
Difference, Punarjanma, they are quite different, no? Punarjanma and this spiritual birth is quite different.
Yeah. Rebirth is different than, yes. One is material birth, one is spiritual birth. Okay? So when we come in the process of bhakti in association of devotees, and then when you get spiritual diksha, it's like a spiritual birth. That is a real birth, yeah. So now we are coming to a very important section. Please be little attentive. 16 to 22. How does this bhakti progress? Till now, see, Sutta Goswami is like a professor who is putting his case, is presenting his philosophy. Till now, he is presented how bhakti is the highest occupational duty. highest dharma for everyone. So now how does bhakti progress step by step? कैसे धीरे धीरे व्यक्ति भक्ति में प्रगति करता है, कहाँ से शुरू होता है? So that is this section 16 to 22, a very important section. शुश्रूषो श्रद्धानस्य वासुदेव कथारुचि स्यान् महत्सेवया विप्रा पुण्यतीर्थ निषेवनात्. Or twice born sages, what Vishaka was asking, twice born sages. So Sutta Goswami is saying here, Shrushusho Shraddadhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahatsevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanat. So bhakti starts from where? Mahatsevaya Vipra. When we serve great souls are called Mahatya Mahatma. So bhakti begins with, we will see in different stories also, bhakti begins with service to devotees. In association of devotees only bhakti begins. And what do we do in association of devotees? Shrushrushto Shraddadhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi. With great faith we hear about Krishna. Shrushrushto means hear about Krishna. So the first step in bhakti is association of devotees. And in association of devotees, we serve them and we hear about Krishna from them. So when we keep doing this, what will happen? The next step, text 17, Shranvata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto hi Abhadrani Vidunoti Sritsatam. Shranvata Swakata Krishna. When we hear about Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana. Punya Shravana Kirtana means Krishna. Hearing about Krishna is the most purifying thing. So जब हम कृष्ण के बारे में सुनते हैं, when we keep hearing about Krishna, what will happen? Hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti suratsatam. Krishna, who is there in all our hearts. Krishna is there in our heart or not? Yes. You can go and check at home. Yeah, Krishna is there or not. So Krishna who is there in our heart, what he will do? Hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti suratsatam. He will destroy all anarthas, abhadra. All impurities Krishna will destroy and Krishna will cleanse our heart. But for that what we have to do? Shranvata Swakata Krishna. When we hear about Krishna. See these set of verses, when Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON founder Acharya, when Srila Prabhupada was going in that ship called Jaladut, you all know how Srila Prabhupada went to America? He didn't take a flight. Prabhupada went on a cargo ship, right? 40 days in a cargo ship. Very difficult journey. So in that ship, Prabhupada was thinking, how am I going to go to America and preach to these people? Because American people their normal life is a sinful life. Normal life. Like drinking wine, eating meat, illicit affairs is a normal thing for them. And Prabhupada is thinking, how am I going to go there and make these people pure? So Prabhupada writes a very beautiful poem, a very beautiful song. And in that song he mentions all these verses. Prabhupada says, my faith is Bhagavatam. I will go there and repeat Bhagavatam, repeat Krishna Katha. By hearing about Krishna, their hearts will get purified. And that's how the whole process happened. So hearing about Krishna is very, very powerful. All anarthas are gradually destroyed. Text 18. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी नित्यं भागवत सेवया. So Bhagavatam, how we should hear? Regularly, every day, every week, not once a while. Right? ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार कर दिया भागवत सप्ताह हो गया. नहीं, you have to read it regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Prabhupada explains, Bhagavat refers to two things. One is book Bhagavat. This is also Bhagavat. And the other is a devotee, a person Bhagavat who is following the book Bhagavat. Both are called Bhagavat. A book is also called Bhagavat and a devotee is also called Bhagavat. Bhagavata Sevaya means serving a pure devotee, serving a devotee of Krishna and reading Bhagavatam. When we do these both things regularly, what happens? Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Gradually all impurities are gone. And then bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Once bhakti becomes very, very strong. Very, very strong once bhakti becomes. When we keep hearing Bhagavatam in association of devotees. So Prabhupada explains in the translation, by regular attendance in classes of Bhagavatam. So this is our second session, your third session. So when will result come? If you are there every week till the end. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, regular attendance. कुछ समझ में आए या न आए, but still if you just keep coming also, there's a lot of benefit. So gradually all the anarthas will go away, bhakti will become very, very strong. And then what happens? Text 19. Tada rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayaschaye chetereter anaviddam kritam sattve prasidati. Tada is at that time, when one's anarthas are almost destroyed, tada rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayaschaye. So when we keep hearing Bhagavatam, what will happen? Rajogun, tamogun will gradually go away. Kam vasna, lobh, kama lobha dayaschaye. Kam, lobh, matsarya. All these things will gradually go away if you keep regularly hearing Bhagavatam. And then stitam sattve prasidati. One will reach satoguna. Gradually, Rajogun, tamogun will go, one will reach satoguna, pure goodness. And then the next shloka, the next level, text 20. Evam prasanna manaso Bhagavat bhakti yogata Bhagavat tattva vijnanam Mukta sangasya jayate. Evam prasanna manaso. We are all looking for that bliss, that happiness. Evam prasanna manaso. So when will that happiness come? We all want to be happy. But we cannot be happy as long as there is Rajogun, Tamogun, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, we cannot be happy. As long as our heart is not pure, we can never experience Evam Prasanna Manaso. So once all these anarthas go away, we will become very, very happy. Evam Prasanna Manaso. And to reach that Prasanna Manaso, what we have to do? Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha. The process is Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha. And when we do that, Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam, we get realization. We saw what is the aim of life? Jivasya Tattva Jigyasa. So here it says Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam. By hearing about Krishna, one will become very, very realized. One will realize Krishna. Mukta Sangasya Jayate. In this way, one will experience the path of liberation. And then text 21, another very important verse. Vidyate hridaya grantes Chidyante sarva samshaya Shiyante chasya karmani Drishtva evatmanishware. Vidyate hridaya grantis. In all our heart there is hridaya granthi. All the karmas have become very, very complex. Attachments to different things in this world has made our heart very, very complex. You know, just like na, वो रस्सी होता ना, rope, when it is all crumpled up, it's very difficult to remove it, right? So what this process of bhakti does, vidyate hridaya granthis, all the attachments, all the karmas in our heart, it will just cut it. Vidyate hridaya granthis, shiyante chasya karmani, sarva samshaya. All the doubts that we have will be cleared by hearing about Krishna. Just like Arjuna's, if you read Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is very confused. He doesn't know what to do. After hearing the 18 chapters, what is Arjuna's conclusion? Nashto moho smritir labdva tvatprasatat maya chuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishe vachanam tava. Arjuna says, my dear Krishna, after hearing Gita, all my doubts are cleared, all my confusion is gone, I am ready to do what you want. So similarly, by hearing about Krishna, chidyante sarva samshaya, all doubts are gone. Shiyante chasya karmani drishto evat manishware. That means all the chain of karma, the reactions of karma is completely destroyed, and one can actually see the Atma and the Paramatma. Drishto evat manishware. One can see Krishna face to face by hearing about Bhagavatam, by hearing about Krishna. And we will see in the chapters ahead the story of Narad Muni. This is the philosophy, step by step process. So you may say, is there a devotee who has followed this process and achieved the result? The case study is of Narad Muni. In his previous life, he was the son of a maid servant. Simple, he didn't even have money to go to a school. This boy, he came in association of devotees. What did we see? How does bhakti start? Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra. He came in association of devotees. And in that association, he heard about Krishna. Shranvata Swakata Krishna. And he served the devotees. Gradually, he became attached to Krishna. And so much so, that in his next life, he gets the body of Narad Muni, where he could see Krishna face to face. How did it happen? It all happened in association of devotees, in the association of Bhagavat, hearing Bhagavat. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. That is the power of hearing about Krishna in the association of devotees. So, Sutta Goswami says, Ato vai kavayo nityam bhaktim paramaya muda vasudeve bhagavati kurvanti atma prasadanim. So the conclusion again is Ato vai kavayo nityam. Kavayo means therefore, since time immemorial, all great transcendentalists. So Prabhupada writes here, you name anyone, Narada, Madhvacharya, Ramanujarya, you name all the greatest personalities in this world, what they have done? Bhaktim paramaya muda. They are not fools, they are the most intelligent people. They have all done bhakti to Krishna. Vasudeve Bhagavati Kurvanti Atma Prasadana. They have done bhakti to Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudeve Bhagavati. And by doing this bhakti, what will happen? Atma Prasadanam. One's Atma will become very, very happy. So we saw 3 sections till now. The first section was Sutta Goswami answering the ultimate good and the essence of all scriptures, bhakti. Then in the next section we saw Sutta Goswami saying, even if you are performing all your varnashram duties, the success of that is samsiddhir haritoshanam. Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati. With one pointed attention, one should do bhakti to Krishna. Now this third section where Sutta Goswami is explaining the different steps in the process of bhakti. There also he concludes, Ato vai kavayo nityam bhaktim paramaya muda vasudeve bhagavati. One should perform unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. So in essence, basically in this section 16 to 22, what are the various steps? Srila Rupa Goswami explains. These are the 9 steps how one reaches perfection. Adau Shraddha. It begins with little faith. Like all of you all are coming for these satsangs with little faith. Chalo, jaake dekhte hain what is there in this. Adau Shraddha. After Adau Shraddha comes Bhajana Kriya. Adau Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. With that little faith, we come to that second step, we come in association of devotees. After Sadhu Sangha, there is Bhajana Kriya. In association of devotees, what is happening? Bhajana Kriya. We are hearing about Krishna, remembering Krishna, performing bhakti. When we do Bhajana Kriya, when we do bhakti, what happens? The next step, Anartha Nivritti. All the anarthas, impurities gradually go away. Then the third step is Nishta. Once bhakti becomes very, very strong, one's faith becomes strong. And then Ruchi. One will develop taste in the process of bhakti. And then Asakti. One will become attached to Krishna. Then one will experience bhav, emotions to Krishna. And then finally Prem, love for Krishna. This is the process of bhakti. The different steps. Adau Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem. But in order to reach that stage of love for Krishna, it all begins with association of devotees, hearing about Krishna. We saw the example of Narad Muni. You see the example of Rukmini Devi, Krishna's wife, who got Krishna as her husband. She developed so much love for Krishna. Her process of bhakti also started with hearing about Krishna in the association of Narad Muni. So this is basically the section where how bhakti progresses. Now 23 to 29, someone may say, okay, what about those who worship the other demigods, the other guna avatars? What is their position? So now, even in this section, so we saw in Varnashram, Sudha Goswami explained the purpose of Varnashram is to worship Krishna. Now 23 to 29, he says, ultimately, even among all demigod worship, everything, one has to focus finally on worship of Krishna. So in text 23, Sudha Goswami explains how, see, in this world there are three gunas: Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Goodness, passion, ignorance. And there are three gods responsible for the three gunas. They are called Guna Avatar. For Rajoguna, who is the Guna Avatar? Brahma. For Tamoguna, the Guna Avatar is Shiva. And for Sattva-guna, the Guna Avatar is Vishnu. So that means Rajogun means creation. Brahma's role is creation. Tamogun means destruction. Shiva does. And maintenance, who is doing? Vishnu. Or these three things, creation, destruction, maintenance, which is most difficult? How many of you will agree? Again. Destruction is the easiest. Again. Creation takes time, but still it happens. But to maintain something is very, very difficult. So, Gunavatar for Rajoguna is Brahma, for Tamoguna is Shiva, for Sattva-guna is Vishnu. So here, Sudha Goswami says, of all the three, one should worship Krishna. That is the conclusion. Right? One time, there is a story. We have just few more verses, we'll complete it. One time, all the sages are assembled together. And the discussion was of these three, who is supreme? Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. In तीनों में से supreme कौन है? How many of you will have this question? You'll have this question? So it's a good question if you'll have this question. So all these sages had this question. And they decided, let's do a test to find out who is supreme. And they chose Bhrigu Muni. You go and test these three people. We'll understand who is supreme. They told Bhrigu. So Bhrigu said, okay, I'm playing with fire, but still you all want me to do, I'll try. So Bhrigu goes to Brahma. So Bhrigu is the son of Brahma. So generally when a son sees a father, he is supposed to offer obeisances. But Bhrigu had come with a purpose to test Brahma. So Bhrigu doesn't offer obeisances to Brahma. And Brahma in his mind, he becomes angry. And Bhrigu understands that Brahma is getting angry. He's failed the test. From there he goes straight to Kailash. So Shiva is almost like the brother of Brahma, Bhrigu, almost like god brothers. So when brothers meet, they embrace each other. So Shiva was so happy that Bhrigu has come. Shiva came running to embrace Bhrigu. Bhrigu said, "Chi, don't touch me, dirty guy. You have ashes around your body and you have snake and you're there with all these ghosts and hobgoblins and all these people. Don't touch me." So Shiva became very, very angry. She was about to open his third eye. Parvati controlled Shiva. Bhrigu ran from there. He goes straight to Vaikuntha and enters into the bedroom of Lord Vishnu. Vishnu is lying down and Lakshmi is massaging the feet of Vishnu. Bhrigu goes right inside and kicks the chest of Vishnu. So that time Vishnu got up and Vishnu started to massage the feet of Bhrigu and he said, "My chest is like a rock and your feet is so soft, definitely your feet might have been hurt." And he started to seek forgiveness. Bhrigu understood that Vishnu is supreme. See, to Brahma he offended mentally. To Shiva he offended with words. And with Vishnu he physically hurt him. The worst kind of offense. Still Vishnu was very, very humble. So this shows that how Vishnu is in the mode of goodness and even beyond that. So therefore Sutta Goswami explains here, one should worship Vishnu. Yeah, this story connects to the worship of Balaji. Right? So that's the conclusion. So basically in this section he's saying, we'll not read all these verses, but basically he's saying that those who are very intelligent, we'll read text 25. बीजिरे मुनयोताग्रे भगवन्तम् अधोक्षजम् सत्वं विशुद्धं क्षेमाय कल्पन्ते ये नूतानिह. So he says here, Bijire Munayotyagre. So therefore, the most intelligent people, the greatest authorities have been worshipping Vishnu, Bhagavantam Adokshajam. And why Vishnu? Sattvam Vishuddham Shemaya. Because Vishnu is in the goodness, not even in goodness, pure goodness. Shemaya Kalpante Yenu Taniha. Because by worshipping Vishnu, one can actually get liberation. So one of the name of Krishna or Vishnu is Mukunda. What does Mukunda mean? One can give you mukti. Brahma and Shiva also cannot give mukti. Only Vishnu can give. So therefore, the most intelligent people have been worshipping Vishnu. So basically, in essence, he's saying of all the three Gunavatars, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, one should worship Vishnu. And then in text 26, another very important verse, Mumukshavo Gora Rupam Hitva Bhuta Patimmata Narayana Kala Santa Bhajanti Hi Anusuyava. So therefore, those who are serious about liberation, those who are serious about liberation, Mumukshavaha. Mumukshava means seekers of liberation. What they should do? Narayana Kala Shanta. One should worship Narayan. Bhajanti, one should worship Narayan. And then for the other demigods, you offer respects to everyone. It's not that we offend other devatas, we offer respects to everyone without envy, but our worship is for Narayan. That's the essence. And I think I told you the story that we have this example of Arjuna. Arjuna was a devotee of Krishna. And because he was a devotee of Krishna, all the demigods were very happy with him. All the devatas bestowed blessings. You have Hanumanji, devotee of Lord Ram, all the devatas showered blessings. So the point is, we worship Krishna, but we offer respects to all the other devatas. So this in essence is what Sutta Goswami is explaining in this section. We reject the worship of all other demigods and worship only Vishnu. And why Vishnu? These two verses are very important verses, 28, 29. Vasudeva, yes.
Seeking liberation. What is that liberation mean?
What Matri is asking, seeking liberation. What does liberation mean? Two understandings. One understanding is basically going back to the spiritual world. From this material world, going back to the spiritual world. But the actual essence understanding is, what is the definition of liberation? Our Shastras say, Mukti hitva anyata rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. Mukti means being situated in your original position. What is our original position? Serving Krishna. So if you are serving Krishna, you are already liberated, Jivan Mukta. I give this example. You have a disease condition, healthy condition. If you are in the hospital in a disease condition, what is liberation? Becoming healthy and normal. So abnormal condition is where we are enjoying. Normal condition is a liberated condition where you are serving Krishna. That is the stage of liberation. Because even when you go to the spiritual world, what you are going to do there? Serve Krishna. There is a story, one of the great acharyas, Anantacharya, South India. Mataji was speaking about Tirupati. This example is from Tirupati. How many of you have been to Tirupati? So in those days, 2000 years ago, Tirupati was a jungle. Literally, no one would go there. Anantacharya was one disciple of Ramanujarya who went alone to grow flowers for Lord Balaji. So one time, as he was growing all these flowers, one snake bit him, poisonous snake. And Anantacharya was not even bothered to take treatment. So someone asked him, Arey Baba, what if you die? Anantacharya said, very simple. If I die, I will go to Vaikunta and I'll serve Vishnu there. If I live, Tirupati is Vaikunta, I will serve Vishnu here. For me, if I die or I live, it is all same. So there also I am doing the same thing, and here also I am doing the same thing. So the liberation basically means practicing the process of bhakti. So why Sutta Goswami is again and again saying bhakti to Krishna, bhakti to Krishna, bhakti to Krishna? These two shlokas are very important. 28, 29. Vasudeva Paraveda Vasudeva Paramaka Vasudeva Parayoga Vasudeva Parakriya Vasudeva Param Jnanam Vasudeva Param Tapa Vasudeva Paro Dharmo Vasudeva Paragati. Bas, you understand these two shlokas, you are sorted. Everything done. In order to attain God, there are different processes. Someone will say study Vedas, someone will say do yajna, someone will say do yoga, kriya, jnana, tapa, dharma, gati, destination. So here Sutta Goswami is saying everything is Vasudeva. Vasudeva Para Veda. The ultimate object of all your Gyan and Vedic study is to understand Krishna, Vasudeva. Vasudeva Paramaka. Maka means Yajna. When we do Yajna, what is the purpose of Yajna? We are pleasing Krishna. Idam Vishnaya, Idam Namama. You are offering everything to Vishnu and nothing for yourself. The purpose of Yajna is to please Vishnu. Vasudeva Para Yoga. The purpose of all yoga is to realize Krishna. Vasudeva Para Kriya. All your Kriya, all your activities is meant to please Krishna. Just as we already saw, Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Vasudeva Param Jnanam. If you have understood Krishna, you have understood all knowledge. But if you have all other knowledge and if you have not understood Krishna, you have not understood anything. Vasudeva Param Tapa. All austerities are meant to know Krishna. Vasudeva Paro Dharmo. The highest religion is, we already saw, Savai Pumsa Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshaje. Bhakti to Krishna. That is the highest dharma. Vasudeva Paragati. Because the ultimate goal of life is to attain Krishna. Paragati, destination is to attain Krishna. So in this way, Sutta Goswami explains that everything in essence, whatever process you follow, it is meant to achieve Krishna. Now, in text, in 30 to 33, can we go on for another 5 minutes? I'll sum up in 5 minutes. 30 to 33, Sutta Goswami is answering question 4. What is question 4? The question was, please tell me about the various Purusha avatars. So we saw Guna avatars. What are the various Guna avatars? Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Guna avatar. Right? So Purusha avatar in text 30 to 33, Sutta Goswami is explaining. What are the various Purusha avatars? I will not read the shlokas. But basically there are 3 Purusha avatars. Karno Dakshai Vishnu, Garbho Dakshai Vishnu, Shiro Dakshai Vishnu. I'll tell you how it is. So this is the basically how Krishna creates this material world. So there is a huge form of Vishnu called Mahavishnu, ya Karno Dakshai Vishnu, who is lying in that causal ocean, Karana Sagar. You can see this Mahavishnu lying in this Karana Sagar. He is so huge, when he breathes out, from every skin pore, can you see your skin pores? You need that lens to see. From every skin pore of Vishnu, one Brahmand, one universe comes out. When he breathes out. When we breathe out, some universes come out, nothing happens. So that is the difference between us and Vishnu. Right? So when Mahavishnu breathes out, from every pore of his, one universe comes. And when he breathes in, everything goes inside his body. So this is Karno Dakshai Vishnu. Karana means the cause. So the cause of this material world is Karno Dakshai Vishnu. He is the cause. Right? So in this way, Mahavishnu breathes out, from every pore of his, one universe comes. Now in each universe, how does each universe look? Each universe is like an egg, Brahmand. Half of that universe is filled with water, called Garbhodak Sagar. And on that, another Vishnu is lying down, second Vishnu, second Purusha, called Garbhodak Shai Vishnu. Shai means to sleep. Karno Dakshai Vishnu means he is sleeping on the Karana Sagar. Garbho Dakshai Vishnu means he is sleeping on the Garbhodak Sagar. And from his navel, a lotus comes on which Brahmaji is there. And on that lotus stem is the 12 planetary systems. So in this Garbhodak Sagar, every Brahmand, there is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And the third Vishnu is called Shirodakshai Vishnu. He is the super soul. The same Vishnu enters into every atom, into everyone's heart as the super soul called Shirodakshai Vishnu. So like this, the three Vishnus, Sutta Goswami explains here. Karodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Shirodakshai Vishnu. That means what in essence? As Sutta Goswami explained, from the macroscopic level to the microscopic level, even to run this material world, it is only Vishnu. Understanding it? Without Vishnu, the material world cannot even run. Simple. The womb of a mother, when does activity start? When a living entity enters. When an Atma enters, activity starts. Similarly, this universe is like a womb. Womb of Durga, right? The womb of material nature. When does activity start? When Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters. So the basic understanding is life comes from life. Life doesn't come from a big explosion. It comes from this Purusha avatars. Okay, that's what is explained in this 3 shlokas. Now the last shloka, which is shloka number 34. Sutta Goswami is answering question 3. Question 3 was, why does Krishna appear in this world as a son of Devaki and Vasudeva? Bhavayati esha satvena lokan vai loka bhavana Leelavatara Devatiryan Naradishu. Thus the Lord of the universes maintains all planets inhabited by demigods, men and lower animals. Assuming the roles of incarnations, he performs pastimes to reclaim those in the mode of pure goodness. Bhavayati esha satvena lokan vai loka bhavana. Why does Lord Krishna appear in his various avatars? He comes in order to deliver all of us, or in order to reclaim all of us. So basically we are all like children of God. We have left God and come to this world, but he keeps coming in different forms, in various avatars, in some way or the other, in order to bring us back to him. The next chapter, chapter 3, is the various Leela avatars of Krishna. So here he explains how Krishna comes in various avatars, in various forms. In the next chapter, how Krishna is the source of all incarnations and the list of all the various avatars we will see next time. Generally we have heard only of Dasha-avatar, but in the next session we will hear about many other avatars of Krishna. Many avatars and why they come. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying here, chant, dance, take prasadam, live very happily and look very brilliant, and next life go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. So that is the essence. Chant, dance and eat prasadam. Anyone has any questions, any comments? I hope it was not a overdose.
What is the difference between the liberation that impersonalities aspire for and the liberation that is explained in this verse?
Yeah. So Prabhuji is asking, generally there are 2 classes of spiritualists. One who want to merge into the Brahma Jyoti. They are called impersonalists. They want to lose their identity and merge into nothingness, Brahma Jyoti. And devotees, they want to either stay in this world or reach the spiritual world. But either way, their aim of their idea of liberation is service to Krishna. That's the idea.
Actually, they are not attracted towards liberation. They pure devotees.
Yeah,
They actually wants to be a servant of
correct.
eternity.
Correct. That's the highest idea of liberation.
What Rupa Goswami explains and Bhakti Rasamrita is trying to contribute to what they have called Anyaya Vilasha Krishna Jnana.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing.
There they really go only for service.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I told you. Definition of liberation highest is Mukti itva anyata rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. Mukti means to be situated in your original position of service. I give you the example of Anantacharya. No? So he said, whether I die or whether I live, it's all the same.
Prabhu, is Mukti and Moksha the same?
Yeah, Mukti, Moksha. Yes. different words for the same thing.
Information not clear, not getting rid of birth and death, that will always say.
What is that?
Getting rid of birth and death, we have to, that will, I get confused.
Yeah, so basically Mataji is saying, yeah, definitely the general idea of liberation is getting rid of birth and death, going to the spiritual world. But pure devotees, they don't even mind taking birth again, but their only prayer is, Krishna, let us not forget you. That's a very high mood. So therefore, you see, there is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakale Ashant Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ateva Shant. I think I explained this. There are 4 categories of people: Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, and Bhakta. Mukti means Bhukti means one who is seeking enjoyment in this world. Such a person is selfish because he is thinking about his enjoyment. One who is seeking liberation. Idea of liberation is what? I want to get rid of suffering. You want to get rid of suffering. Why? For me. I want to be peaceful. In one sense, still selfishness is there. And the third category is Siddhi. One who wants to experience different kinds of Siddhic powers. So he is still thinking about me. It's about me. They are still selfish. So the verse says, Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami. All 3 of them have desires. One wants enjoyment here. One wants power here. One wants peace beyond birth and death. All of them have desires. Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakale, Ashant. Therefore, all of them are not peaceful. Krishna Bhakta Nishkam. A devotee of Krishna has no material desires. He's not even asking Krishna, give me enjoyment. He's not even asking Krishna, give me power. He's not even asking Krishna, give me liberation. His only prayer to Krishna is, Krishna, I want to serve you. Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rahetu Ki Tui. I want to serve you birth after birth. So this is pure devotional service. So therefore it says, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ateva Shant. Therefore he is very, very peaceful. So this Bhagavatam speaks about that kind of devotional service. Ahetuki apratiyata. Ahetuki means what? No hetu. We are not even asking Krishna, my dear Krishna, I am doing bhakti to you because I want liberation. That is not even a prayer. We are just in the first canto. We will see when we go ahead, as we go ahead, Krishna willing, we will see prayers of all great devotees. All the great devotees' prayers. Narsingadev comes in front of Prahlad. He is asking Prahlad, what do you want? Can you imagine this? He is seeing Krishna face to face, Narsimha. Narsimha is asking what do you want. Prahlad is not asking liberation. He is asking Narsingadev, my dear Lord, I just want to perform bhakti in association of devotees. And you will see this constant in every prayer of Bhagavatam. This is considered to be the highest level of devotion service. Paro dharmo. Okay, anyone else has any other question? Especially those who have come like the newer batch, Journey of Self-Discovery. Did you all understand? आप लोगों को समझ में आया? Little? Yes.
In one of the stanzas, the last statement, one of the lines of Krishna said, he empowers all the 3 gunas.
He empowers the 3 gunas.
The motto is to rise above the 3 gunas, whether we were empowered.
So basically what it means is, Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, all the Gunavatans, Brahma, Shiva, Brahma and Shiva is also like Vishnu transformed. Vishnu only becomes Brahma, Vishnu only becomes Shiva for a certain purpose. But Vishnu is beyond the 3 modes. That's the idea. He is maintaining the 3 modes for the purpose of creation, but his position is beyond. Okay, I think we will stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.